Hey guys, for this video today, this will be something new that I have never done before. Now, after watching the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies win the 2019 Memorial Cup back this past Sunday as of the filming of this video, I thought to myself, you know what? Why not sit down and do a video and review all of the uniforms used during the duration of the 2019 Memorial Cup? And you know what I thought to myself? I thought to myself, why don't I do a video like that and give you guys something extra? And in fact, if enough of you enjoyed this video, I may just end up making this an annual tradition, where I cover and share my thoughts on all of the uniforms that are used in the Memorial Cup every year from here on in. I think it's fun, and you know what? I'm even going to share my thoughts on the special military tribute uniforms used by the Halifax Mooseheads, as you can see in this photo. And speaking of traditions, ever since the 2008 Memorial Cup, the host team has always played on opening night while sporting a special military tribute uniform. And honestly, I have felt since the day they started doing this that this was an awesome, awesome idea. In fact, I think it's an awesome tradition. And I'm glad that it's now an annual tradition in the Canadian Hockey League for the Memorial Cup every year. It's actually really cool, and I think it's an awesome tribute to the veterans, and I'm pretty sure that they auction off the game-worn jerseys and have all of the proceeds go to help military veterans. If I am wrong on that, please correct me, but I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. But if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I think that's what they do. They auction off the game-worn jerseys, and then they take the donations and the money that people spend on these game-worn jerseys and donate them to veterans. And I think that's an awesome thing to do. And I love the poppy patch that they wear on the military tribute jerseys too. In fact, I feel that every NHL team should have one on the front of their jerseys for any games that are played on Remembrance Day, which I know that if you're an American watching this video, you guys call it Veterans Day. But on that day, November 11th every year, I think that the NHL and the NFL teams and all major professional sports teams should wear a poppy on the front of their jersey for at least all games played on Remembrance Day. I think that would be absolutely amazing if they did. But anyways, what I will do is I'll start by sharing my thoughts on this military tribute jersey worn by the Halifax Mooseheads. And they play in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, for anybody wondering. But anyways, I actually felt that this was a very nice uniform. And for a one-off uniform, I felt that the Mooseheads really did a great job. I love the very throwback-ish look of all of the white stripes along the arms and the 3 stripes around the waist. I felt this was a really nicely done jersey and uniform. The only thing I don't like about it is that the sock striping did not go all the way around. I think that is so stupid. I don't care if it's a one-off game uniform or not. For a one-off uniform, why can't you have the sock striping go all the way around? It looks stupid when it only goes halfway around or 3/4 of the way around. I'm sorry, but for any future Memorial Cup tribute jerseys, if anybody who actually designs these uniforms ever comes across this video, please don't repeat this mistake. Make sure the sock striping, and all of the striping for that matter, goes all the way around the arms, the waist, and in this case, the socks too. But overall, I have to say that, you know what, this is the most memorable military tribute Memorial Cup uniform that I have seen in a long time. This is one of the best ones and the most memorable ones that I've seen in quite a while. And I felt that they did a very nice job with this uniform. As I say that, I don't really remember some of the more recent ones, but this is definitely one of the more memorable ones, and I actually feel that the jersey itself is fantastic. I'm glad that the Mooseheads came up with this one for their opening night game in the Memorial Cup. So now, speaking of the Mooseheads, I'm going to quickly talk about their red and white jerseys that they wore this year for the Memorial Cup. And anyways, I just have to find some photos here for you guys. But anyways, this is the Mooseheads white jersey, and I gotta say that, you know what, even with the phantom shoulder yoke piping and the lack of waist striping, it's not a bad jersey. I actually, you know, all they need to do, in my opinion, is get rid of the phantom shoulder yoke piping and put this sock striping around the waist, and they would actually have a very nice white jersey. And you know what? With their red jersey, I don't like it as much. I've never cared for that design, and this is the same template as the Minnesota Wild's longtime Reebok Edge era red jersey that they wore as their main home jersey for far too long, in my opinion. But, you know, a white jersey inspired by that template actually does not look too bad. It did not look too bad when the Mooseheads used it. But if they put this sock striping around the waist of this jersey and lost and ditched the shoulder yoke piping, this could actually be a really decent and simple jersey. I like the red on the arms where they've placed it too. It looks quite good. But as for their home jersey, I've seen it in the past with dark green numbers on it. I have not cared for that look myself, but let's see. I'm going to find a picture of their red jersey here real quick. I just have to find the right one. And here we go. This is what their red jersey looks like, just an inverse of the white one. And actually, let me see if I can't find a better picture, because I want to show you guys the full uniforms if I can. That's what I always try to do, just so that you guys get to see the entire look. But here, my apologies. Here we go. But oh, geez, this is taking longer than I really would like. My apologies, you guys. Here. Here's a good picture of it. Notice the piping, the sock striping. See, if they put that sock striping around the waist of this jersey and ditched the phantom shoulder yoke piping, this would be another decent jersey. But what I would actually do is I would actually do this in dark green instead, because there's already enough teams in hockey that wear red. It's nice to see a team or two once in a while wear green. I mean, it was super nice to see the Minnesota Wild adopt forest green as their full-time home jersey color again in the 2017-18 NHL season for the first time in over a decade, in like 12 years. And you know what? I mean, this jersey's not bad, and it would look way better with the sock striping around the waist. It would be a very nice jersey if they did that, but imagine this redone in dark green with the same design, with the sock striping around the waist and without the shoulder yoke piping. That would be a very nice jersey, in my opinion. But overall, the Halifax Mooseheads uniforms were and are not too bad. I'm just glad that the numbers on the back are no longer in forest green. They're now in white, which actually, did they have white numbers or vintage white numbers? No, their numbers are white. Now. But now I've covered the Mooseheads. Now what I'll do is I'll talk about the Guelph Storm. That's what I'll do. And I have to say that... oh, just ignore that, you guys. What I'm going to do now is I'll cover the Guelph Storm. And honestly, I've noticed that over the past year or so, they've slightly altered their logo. And I gotta say, their uniforms are actually really quite nice. And this is their home uniform. It's more of a brick red, the type of red that the Arizona Coyotes wear. And I really like the traditional striping, and actually their new logo is actually not too bad, because I know they did recently, in recent years, update their logo. But the uniform is very clean and simple, and I really liked it. And when I saw it in the Memorial Cup this year, I was actually quite impressed. That's a junior hockey team right there with some nice uniforms. If only certain teams in the NHL, such as the Nashville Predators and the Calgary Flames, would take some notes from the Guelph Storm. I mean, which I think the Flames are going full-time retro soon anyway, but, you know, there's some teams out there, even in the NHL, that could learn a thing or two from teams like the Guelph Storm as to how to have a nice home and away jersey combination. Now, this is the Storm's away uniform. Very nice. I mean, I know it's just basically simple Blackhawks type of striping on the away jersey, but I don't care. I mean, this jersey is very, very nice. Nice and simple. The darker red and black look really good, and the logo actually does not look bad at all. For something that's more modern in its design, once again, just like when I talked about the Erie Otters the other night as I'm filming this is another junior team that's got the idea of creating a modern logo right, where they've done it quite nicely. And for a modern-looking logo, usually I'm more of the type who prefers throwback-type designs or more retro-looking and retro-inspired stuff. But this is another modern logo that looks really not too bad at all, at least in my opinion. I wouldn't mind seeing the Storm try a black jersey, actually. I mean, I know that that's really just a basic generic idea for teams that wear red and black. I get that, but you know what? Maybe even a black version of their white and red jerseys would actually not look too bad, but they'd have to do, well, the red's a little bit darker, but they'd have to do something that's more black and white with red, with a brighter hue of red, I think. But still, their jerseys were not too bad, and I might even quickly try and find another photo of the Guelph Storm's red jersey, because in my opinion, it's actually a pretty decent uniform. And actually, here we go. With the Guelph Storm. They're, in my opinion, of the 4 teams that participated in the Memorial Cup this year, the host team, the Halifax Mooseheads of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies, who are also not only a QMJHL team, but the winners of the 2019 Memorial Cup this year, and of course the Prince Albert Raiders of the Western Hockey League, I feel that the Guelph Storm had by far the nicest looking jerseys. They did a really, really good job with their uniforms, and I actually really like them. The darker red gives them something that's a little bit unique, and I love the traditional striping, and you know what? It's a very nice uniform, and actually, I really do not mind them, even with the modern looking logo on it. They actually look really quite good, and I'm actually very impressed. And it's nice to see teams be able to create a modern looking logo that doesn't suck. It's nice to also see a team create something new that's good. And to me, you know what, that's pretty awesome. Actually, in fact, I think the Guelph Storm's red jersey is so nice that I might even try and find another picture. Actually, maybe I won't. We'll see. Okay, sorry guys. Sorry to be holding you up, but it's just... Here, I think I'll go back to this photo again, but... Once again, a very nice uniform. And it's nice to see a team try a different, like a darker red, and create something a little bit different for a change. At first, when the Arizona Coyotes created... When I was younger, I mean, over the years as I watched the Coyotes wearing the brick red, I had always thought that it'd be nice to see them go to a scarlet red. But at the same time, though, over the years, I've come to appreciate the odd team that does a darker hue of red, more like a burgundy, but more like a red. Something in between, because it's something different. And the Guelph Storm, once again, I can't say it enough. They, in my opinion, are the winners, in my opinion, out of the 4 teams in the Memorial Cup this year for best jerseys. So we've talked about the Halifax Mooseheads, we've now talked about the Guelph Storm, and now I'm going to talk about the Prince Albert Raiders. And you know what? I'll say this about the Raiders. there is one thing in particular about Prince Albert that I really did like, and it's this. They wear Kelly green. They wear a nice hue of green. But, and you know what, I actually don't even mind the shade of gold or the Vegas gold type color, which the Pittsburgh Penguins of the NHL used for a very long time until they thankfully went back to their late 80s, early 90s uniforms in the 2016-17 season, which they should have never changed in my opinion. But, you know, this Vegas gold, Kelly green and black color scheme is not bad, but I'm not a fan of the uniform. I love the color scheme, but I hate the uniform. It's this weird paneling on the arms. I don't even care for the Raiders logo. I mean, in my opinion, if they would do something a little bit more traditional with this color scheme and possibly even go back to the pirate logo that they had before this current Prince Albert Raiders shield and sword logo, I think they could do something great. I mean, I think it's so awesome that the Raiders have adopted Kelly green as their full-time home jersey color, but you know, you can have the greatest color scheme, or you could have an awesome color scheme, but it's no good if the uniforms aren't good, at least in my opinion. I also don't care for the number and lettering font on this jersey, which is more like an impact font, which the Vancouver Canucks have used for years. And I know for a fact they won't be changing it once they switch to their new uniforms this coming 2019-2020 season, which all they're doing, according to a recent leak, is they're taking the Vancouver script off of their logo and putting on a white stick and rink shoulder patch on their home jersey now, which I do like that better, but I wanted to see the Canucks change their uniforms for anybody wondering, but I'll talk about that another time. But anyways, this is the Raiders green jersey, and I'll see if I can't find a picture of their white jersey here, a good one at least. Sorry guys, some of these photos are hard to find good ones, but here once again, here's another shot of the full Raiders home jersey. The colors, I love the color, I just don't care for the uniforms, and I also don't care for the logo. They could do a lot better in my opinion. I'm just trying to see if I can't find... I want to find a picture of their away uniform, and actually here's probably one of the best ones you're going to find, or one of the best ones I've been able to find, but there's the matching white one. Notice the Kelly green side paneling. It looks bad. I mean, the colors, even the gold color is not bad. I love the color scheme, but the uniform's very templatey with side panels and great color scheme, but you know, they gotta at least make the uniforms a little more traditional and really find a nice, better way to incorporate this gorgeous color scheme. But once again, I also don't care for their logo. And I actually did find a photo of them, or of the back of that jersey, so that way you guys can get a chance to see their number and lettering font. But it appears that I might have lost it already. Just bear with me for a moment. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry about these brief interruptions, but all I want to do is I want to try and find the best pictures that I can possibly find for you guys, because, you know. But because I want to make sure that you guys get to see the uniform. So there's the number and lettering font. It's a lot like the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL's old lettering and numbering font, at least their numbers, and it just doesn't look good. I mean, but as I say that, I love the color, and I think it's so cool that they now wear Kelly green as their full-time home jersey color, but the uniforms and the logo, in my opinion, need some real serious work. So I've now talked about the Raiders, and I've talked about the host team, the Mooseheads, first. Then I talked about the Storm. Now I've talked about the Raiders. Finally, I'm going to end this video by sharing my thoughts and reviewing the 2019 Memorial Cup champions, the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies. And I believe this was their very first Memorial Cup victory in franchise history. So I am very happy for you Rouyn-Noranda Huskies fans out there. Congratulations. I'm happy for you guys because your team has finally got a Memorial Cup championship under their belts, and your belt too if you're a fan, of course. So this is the Huskies white jersey. In my opinion, this is definitely one of the most unique, definitely the most unique white jersey design I have seen in a while. Even though it's very templatey with vertical piping and side panels, notice this dark black to gray gradient that fades into the white. I like the logo, and the jerseys, and the gradient's actually kind of neat. But I don't like the templated look, and you know what? But as I say that though, that gradient is kind of neat. I think it'd be really cool if the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies cleaned up their uniforms and even kept the gradient. I mean, I know that they have a matching black jersey that has a red gradient on it, kind of similar to what the Vancouver Canucks used to wear on their early 2000s alternate jersey. I'm going to see if I can't find a photo of that for you guys, even though that one is not a jersey that they used in the Memorial Cup this year. I'll quickly share a photo of it because I actually think that it's worth talking about. Actually, in the past, they've actually used the exact same design as the Vancouver Canucks. That's actually pretty cool. Here, I just want to find a good photo of it first. But anyway, here, my apologies, you guys. This is another delay that I'm not particularly pleased with. My apologies, by the way. I just want to make sure I find good photos for you guys so that you can see the uniforms. Damn. Okay, here's a good one. So this is the matching black jersey. Notice the red gradient on it. Part of me is glad that they didn't wear it for the Memorial Cup this year. But red along the arms, like the Florida Panthers last away jersey before they switched to their new design in the 2016-17 season. The gradient, that's just like the Vancouver Canucks third jersey from the early 2000s. I'm glad that they didn't wear this one in the Memorial Cup. But I will say this, though. I figured I'd quickly share that one just because it is kind of it's kind of neat to see the gradient. So, and I figured their white jersey is very unique. So I figured, why not quickly show you guys that photo. I'm going to just go back and see if I can't find the black jersey that they did wear during the Memorial Cup this year. And just, pardon me for a sec here. Next time what I'll do is I will actually sit down and put photos together before I ultimately do a video like this again. That way it'll be a lot faster. But what I'll quickly show you guys is the back. So the back does not have the gradient. It just has the simple plain white on the back with their numbers and letters on the back. Not a bad uniform in terms of its creativity with the gradient. That part I think is kind of neat. I like the gray gradient on the white jersey much better than the red one on their black jersey, which I believe is their designated home jersey normally, but they didn't wear it in the Memorial Cup this year as far as I can remember. But I don't care for the templated look with all the piping and side panels, but that gradient is definitely kind of neat. I do tip my hat to them in the creativity department because of that, but still their away jersey is just very Reebok-esque, and I'm not a big lover of it. But finally, let's show you guys the black jersey that the Huskies wore in the Memorial Cup this year. And, shoot. Okay. I'm just trying to see if I can't find a better photo than what I'm seeing right now, because I'd like to show you guys a proper decent photo. So anyways, they wore their black alternate jersey that's got the Huskies word mark on it. And my goodness, why is this taking so long to find any? Okay, here's a decent one. Here we go. So this is the jersey that they wore in the Memorial Cup this year. It's just got a Huskies word mark. It's got very traditional arm striping. So it's basically a recolored version of the San Jose Sharks' last alternate jersey in the Reebok Edge era, where it's got red, thick red stripes with white accenting stripes on each side of each red stripe on the arms. No waist striping, and instead of a logo on the front like the Sharks had, this just has a Huskies word mark. If they put their main logo on the front of this and put their arm striping around the waist, this would actually be a very nice jersey. I mean, if they did that, this would be a wonderful home jersey, but unfortunately, this is what they've got right now. And, you know, is it the worst uniform in the world? No, but is it the greatest? Certainly not. I do like this better than the red gradient heavy, or the black gradient heavy inversed version of their white jersey that they wore when they actually won the championship game this past Sunday as I'm filming this. I'm going to take one last second here to show you the back of the jersey. The font is not a traditional block font, which not every team needs to have a block font in my opinion, but I do prefer it. It would definitely look better on this jersey here, but the lack of waist striping is a bit of a bummer. But this jersey's okay, but I will say this though, I do like the Huskies black jersey that they wore in the Memorial Cup this year a lot more than their white one that they actually won the final wearing. That's for sure. But yeah, no, what I'd like to see is I'd like to actually see the Huskies put this arm striping around the waist, put their regular logo from their white jersey on the front of this jersey, and then make a matching version of this with waist striping and wear that as an away jersey. I mean, that, in my opinion, would give the Huskies some very simple but very nice looking uniforms. And you know what? There's one thing about the Huskies, though, that I really do like. And what I like about the Huskies, in my opinion, is their logo. For a logo that's got a bit of a roundel to it, I actually really like it. And I may just quickly find a photo of it real quick. Wait. But yeah, no, I actually really do feel that the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies have a very nice logo, but the problem is I don't like their jerseys. I mean, they're at least their black jersey with the Huskies word mark is a little bit more simple and not as wild and messy as this, but I really like this logo. It's actually pretty damn good, and it kind of reminds me of a European team, to be honest, which is kind of cool too. I mean, I've seen European teams with logos kind of like this in design, and kind of reminds me of a team or two that I've even seen in the Spengler Cup in the past. But I really like the logo. But imagine if they made the jerseys more traditional, like the black one with the Huskies word mark. Even though I think the gradient on the front of the white one, as you just saw, is actually pretty cool. But if they took the black jersey with the Huskies word mark on it, put the logo from that white jersey there on the front of that with waist striping that matches the arm striping, and then created a matching white version of that, I think the Huskies would have some pretty nice jerseys. But anyways, yeah, I figured that I'd sit down and do an extra little video and review the 2019 Memorial Cup uniforms. I thought it was something that would be kind of neat to do for a change and to give you guys something different to see. But anyways, you guys, I've been talking longer than I thought I would, and what I'll do is I'll call it a wrap on this video. If you guys liked this video, let me know, and if there's enough interest, I'll start making this an annual tradition on the channel. But anyways, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for all the different breaks between photos as I tried to quickly find photos to show you guys throughout the video. But anyways, I do hope you guys enjoyed it nevertheless. And with that, you guys, I'll call it a wrap now. And as always, take care. And of course, as usual, folks, bye for now.